Want to make some ham?
Paint me like one of your French ladies.
Hey everybody, Chris and Jordi back with another cooking video. Did I see this on Instagram or did you see it and share it?
You sent it to me. It's deer bacon, like venison bacon.
Oh.
And it's not the way like we think of bacon where that's the belly cured, salted, smoked and sliced.
Yeah.
This is a way of using ground venison or minced venison to form a mold.
Yeah.
And then we're going to smoke it, we're going to slice, and that's where we're going to get our things for.
It's not faking, but it's not bacon.
No, it's
so
not.
It's like Dakin or something.
Dakin. What we're going to use to make our formed bacon is this ham press from Carnivore Collective. Guys, this is the prototype one, so the one that's going to be on sale soon will look a little bit different. But I've been testing this recently, making a whole heap of different things in it, and this is one of my favorite things to make in it so far. It's really good for lots of other stuff. What it's mostly for is for making formed hams. So that is when you like debone a leg, you want to cure it overnight, and then you want to roll it up and you want to get that really tight so that when you get a slice, you get a perfect slice. Using that pressure and these different levels is how you get that ham to kind of gel together, and then you cook it. And it's all metal too, so you'll be able to cook that in a water bath.
Should we get started?
Yep. So what I've got here is just some venison mince that I get out of my freezer. I usually use a 70-30 pork to venison mince just to give it that fattiness. So we got about 2 kilos here, 2 bags, and we're gonna get them in our bowl. The boys like to double bag it.
Why would you double bag it? It's
just the less air you get in there, the less likely it is to get freezer burn.
Yeah.
So even though it's vac sealed.
What's freezer burn?
Freezer burn. That's basically what all of your meat is.
Exactly.
When you put whole legs in the freezers, that's freezer burn.
And wrap it in the garbage bag.
With the hair still on it,
That's
obviously.
the Chris special.
We're gonna just chuck this on our scales. And because with this, we're going to be using curing salt. So we've got the #1 cure from Carnivore and My Slice of Life. This needs to be cooked, and this is what you use to make ham, okay? The only thing about cures is it's not difficult once you get the concepts, but you've got to make sure you're right on your weight. So I know this is 2 kilos of mince. So what I'm going to need for this, for every 1 kilo of mince, we're going to need 2.5 grams of our pink cure, okay? 2.5 times 2, that's 5, Chris. But we'll get that in. For every 2.5 grams of cure, you're gonna need about 25 grams of your salt component. So for that, I'm gonna be using our wild boar rub, because not only has it got the salt element in it, it's also got lovely hints of paprika and all the other spices that make this one a good one. And it's gonna give us that porkiness that we're trying to get making a bit of bacon here. So about 50 grams.
Less of the deacon, more of the bacon.
Yeah, trying to bring it back to bacon.
Bringing it back to bacon.
All right, we'll get that in. To add a little bit of sweetness, we're gonna add some maple syrup in it. So this is proper maple syrup, none of that just sugary essence stuff. Make sure you get this one because it's bloody delicious.
Straight out of the tree.
Just, yeah, about yay much, you know, a couple of big tablespoons. Now, one more thing to get that kind of bind of those proteins is we're gonna add half a cup of water in, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix this. And what that does is making all the proteins mold together so that when we set our block, we're gonna get a nice slice and it's not gonna fall apart like, you know, mum's meatloaf would kind of thing.
Do you know why I know we're getting professional?
Black gloves.
Or gloves in general.
So you see the liquid in here, that's the water that we've added. We're gonna try and emulsify that into the meat just with mixing it. You could do this in one of the big mixers, like the big Carnivore one that we use for sausages, but we're only making a small mix today, so just by hand is fine.
Especially with your big hands.
Yeah, the old meat shovels.
Meat shovel.
So you can see that it's starting to like tacky.
That smells good too.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. And we'll move on to our press, okay? So it's got this top piece, which has got our springs in it, which is gonna give you the pressure of pushing down. And it's got these different levels, so you can get a different amount of pressure. And that's how, so we're gonna fill this and then be able to put these down, and you're gonna be able to push it down. So again, it's further and further down, just pushing all those air pockets out of the mince, giving us a nice solid log. A tip for this, it's got holes in it and we don't want the holes in it for this purpose. So we're gonna spray it with a bit of oil and line it with some Glad wrap.
So the hole essentially allow the liquid to escape.
Yeah, so if you're gonna,
Why would you do that?
If you were making like a ham, you would it would be good because it would allow the moisture to escape. Whereas in a terrine or something like this, we don't need liquid to escape. We want to keep all that in there. The reason why we spray it with oil is not only just for when it's coming back out again, but it also helps it stick into all the corners. Let's get our mince in. And you really want to work this, guys. Working it down right to the edges, trying to get as many of those pockets out as possible.
Question.
Yeah.
Will the lack of holes mean the air won't escape? Or will that come out the top?
No, well, no, it's not like air escaping like that, but it's like trying to not get big gaps in the meat, because that's where
it's more about compression as opposed to, it's not a vacuum.
No, you're trying to get a solid log so you get a slice, not like a sourdough where when you cut through a piece of sourdough, you've got those big gaps missing. We don't want that.
I thought we were making a vacuum like space bacon. You told me we were making space bacon. That's what you sent me in the text.
Bitterly disappointed.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we're going to push our glad wrap over, fold the ends in with a nice little parcel. Now we push down. Now this is where we get our lid, okay? So you just want to keep it nice and level, start it on the same, and just with even pressure on each side, you're working it down.
Almost like ratcheting it.
Yeah, like a ratchet strap, and just keeping it nice and flat. So that's going to give us our compression, and then we'll set this in the fridge overnight. Not only is it just to give it the shape, but you've got to give that cure 24 hours to set. That's going to go through the meat, give it that pink color, and give it that cure, which is what we want for our bacon. So this has been in the fridge overnight, and we've got...
Has it really been overnight?
The other one has. This one I need to get out for the camera. We're going to push down and pull, releasing our mold. Now the hardest bit will be to get this out.
That's cool.
Will be like that, and you'll have your loaf. Quickly flip it over and undo our glad wrap.
That's cool. That's just a huge chunk.
I mean,
that
could just be meatloaf. You could pop that in the oven, bake it with a glaze on it. If you didn't have the cure in it, it would just be like a great meatloaf. That could be a perfect meatloaf tray. But what we're going to do is we're going to roll this onto a smoker tray. We're going to paint it with a bit of maple syrup, and we'll get it in the smokers.
Oh yeah.
Now what we've done is we put it in here at around 130. We started at 135, and we put it in there for about an hour with water in the base of this to keep it moist.
It's dripping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then we brought it up by 10 degrees every half an hour until the internal temperature reached about 75 degrees. That way we know the mince is cooked and we've got a good smoke on it. Look at that. Beautiful deer bacon.
For real.
We'll take this in, we'll cool it down, and we'll slice some up and have some breakfast. You want to let this cool, all right? You don't want to carve it up now, otherwise it's just going to be like a meatloaf. So I know it's hard. Pop it into the fridge, let it go overnight so it's nice and cold, all right?
This is exactly what we're going to do.
Well, I've got one earlier that we're going to slice up and have for brekkie now. But this, you see that perfect shape? That's going to give us lovely slices that we can then back seal our bacon with.
Wouldn't then fry this, or
Yeah,
could you?
that's exactly what we're going to do.
Oh, we're going to fry it.
We're going to fry it for breakfast.
I love it. I know exactly what's going on. Because you could just eat it like that, right?
Oh, you could, but this is going to be so much better.
I didn't get that, okay.
Yeah, this is an absolute cracker of a breakfast for any hunter, and another perfect way up to use your game.
What was that?
Yeah, and if you're feeling really, really naughty,
That's really good.
It's not like regular bacon.
No.
You could probably go a little bit heavier on the seasoning. You could season the outside of it too, but it just tastes like good.
Yeah, textures and the tone of the smoke with the cure and stuff makes it taste less like venison and more like ham.
Yeah.
So it tastes more
And that's
hammy.
only 30% pork.
Yeah,
So
yeah. which is interesting.
Yeah,
I was
it really
thinking-
hasn't pulled away from the deeriness of it
Yeah.
either, though.
And
like,
I
it's
thought-
not neutral.
I thought you'd cut too big, but when like
When you fry it, you get that little crisp on the inside,
it
outside.
sucks it a little bit up as well.
Because you're leaching fat all the time, like every time you think. But yeah, it's very awkward
The
to eat
whole
with
bit.
someone else. I tell you, that's mine.
Yeah, it was.
Your kids must really.
That's a terrible thing to say to a father. And if you want to learn more about Carnivore Collective products, either their cures, their meat rubs, their spices,
Your equipment.
their equipment, carnivorecollective.com.au. I'll drop a link below where you can get a discount. Again, we say all the time, but supporting a business that's supporting our lifestyle while it's getting behind and doing some stuff yourself and learning. I say all that with a mouthful.
Yeah.
To really sell it. Also, before we go, I don't think I've ever done this publicly. A bit of a plug for George. He's all awkward now. He's all confident, and then you start talking about him, and he's like, Jordi's Instagram.
Irish Outdoor Chef, that's me. Been working a lot with Chris and the guys at Carnivore this year, and the last couple of years, me and Chris are great mates, and we have been really from the start since we met during the COVID days. So kind of just been following along with the journey, and yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it. I love cooking, so
It's good.
it really works.
It's a great partnership.
Drop us a follow, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.